Right guys, welcome to Take On Music News. Today I'm joined by singer-songwriter Perry Manning. How's it going, mate? All right?
Yeah, Sam. All good.
Good stuff. So we're going to go back to the start really and how you got into music, because first you want to be a footballer. That's your dream job. So how did it come about then?
Well, my old man was a bit of a footballer, and I think his dream was for me to be one. But then I sort of just fell out of love with playing and that, and I got into performing arts, and I felt more of myself when I was on a stage. I felt more confident, I could be someone else. And then after a couple of years at Stratford College performing and that, I decided to pick up a guitar, teach myself it, and start writing songs and get out there and playing.
Do you have any regrets from not wanting to be a footballer? Or do you think you've gone down the right career path?
No. I'm happy with.
You're happy with
I'm happy with how it turned out.
So you was actually in a former band, or frontman of a band called the Sea Dogs. What happened to that band, and why did you decide to go solo? And
well, it ain't ended or anything. It's always because it's a two-piece. Me and my mate Naus is the drummer, so it's just something. At this minute, I'm just focusing on doing my own thing at the minute.
Oh, right,
but it's not like that's it, that's gone.
So it's go back to
and we've always been like on and off. Like we'll just, I want to do a show or something together, and we'll do it.
Absolutely. So, we're here today to talk about your EP. It's All I've Ever Known. That came out on October 16th. How's that feel to get out?
Yeah, I mean, I've had them songs a while. And it's good for it to be out there now. It's been received really well. People seem to be digging the tunes. So yeah, I'm happy.
Good stuff. So where was the EP recorded? And what was the process you went through to recording these songs?
It was recorded in Coventry in Earlsdon at a place called Moonbase Studios with a bloke called John Webb, but I'll refer to him as Lord Moonbear.
Why is that?
I've been recording with him for about 10 years now, so he's always my go-to man to record with. And he's in a band called the Moonbear, so I've just always called him as Lord Moonbear. He's a fascinating man.
When you recorded the EP, was it quite stressful at times, or was it pretty straightforward? You went in there, you got all smashed out in a day?
Yeah, well, 7 hours was in there for, and it's pretty chilled. I went in there prepared. You got to go in there pretty prepared, but always relaxed with the geezer I'm doing it with. So yeah, there's no problems. Did
you play every instrument? Because I see a photo of you when you recorded the EP on the drums. Do you play everything yourself?
Well, I ain't a drummer for a start, but we had this idea. Well, I had this idea. I said I wanted some percussion. I wanted like a bit of a marching, going to war sort of sound, especially for divering. So John said, go down, get on the kit. He said, hit the snare in the floor, Tom. So headphones on, boom, 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 boom. He put it together, and it sounds the nuts, I think.
Good stuff, yeah. So what did you do differently recording this EP to your debut album Double Tidy, or what did you keep the same?
Well, with that album, I recorded 8 tracks in 8 hours, and it's just pure acoustic. With these 4 tracks, I used the electric as well. There's a bit more time during the day, so it wasn't as rushed. Double Tidy was rushed because I just wanted a collection of songs on Spotify. Yeah. You know, so they can have Perry Manning. Here's a collection of songs for people to listen to, and now it's got a bit more about it on this EP.
So it's called It's All I've Ever Known. What's the title and what's the story behind the why you call it that?
I guess it's just a reflection of a lot of my youth and my past, what I've been brought up around in my environment, and situations I've got into, and I'm just trying to move on from it, and you can only be what you've sort of known, so it is all I've ever known.
Good little story that, yeah. I love the EP artwork for this EP. How'd that come about, and who designed that for you, and whose input went into that?
Bit of an accident, really.
Was it?
Yeah, me and Sophie, my fiancée, we was in Stratford, and we was having a coffee, and I went down for this big fancy hot chocolate, loads of cream on. Just gone down for it to, get the cream out like that. Come back, and she's just snapped me, and then she sent it me, and I just thought, oh, that'd look all right for a bit of artwork. So then played around with the filter, and it just looked. I think it looks pretty cool.
Did you know straight away from that moment that you wanted that as a cover?
Yeah, something about it.
Good stuff. As an artist, do you feel it's important to have a good artwork, or?
Yeah, I always like to see the band or the artist on the cover of albums and stuff.
Yeah.
I always like a visual, especially like in the music videos as well. I want to see the artist part of the video.
Acting,
Yeah.
yeah. Good stuff. So let's get into it then. The first song's called Dithering. Was that always going to be the opening track on this EP?
Yeah, as soon as I wrote that, I knew with the intro to the song, and immediately I heard the drums in my head, so I knew how that song wanted to go. Yeah, with a nice little drive into the EP.
It's a song moving forward and not looking at your past and your mistakes. Is that obviously with your past experience? That
Yeah,
song, it's a bit about that, really.
Not holding on to your past. You know, we make mistakes, just don't dwell on them. Stop going back to that. Keep moving forward. That's what it's about, really.
Good stuff. And there is actually a music video coming onto this, which is actually a Snake Hill production with our cameraman Rob.
It is.
How was that for a day recording?
Great day that was. Yeah, it's got horse in it. It's proper rock and roll.
You actually shit yourself in the horse, didn't you?
Yeah, well, yeah. It was a bit lively, weren't it?
It was a bit lively at times, but we got there in the end. It was well behaved. So the second track is called Coercive Abuse, and this song is actually a bit about your youth in a way.
Yeah, so
and your upbringing as a youth.
Yeah, it's just sort of a nod to that. I mean, it's a cheerful tune, like, but it's pretty depressing. It's a lot about the mental side of when I was a kid, and just feeling like a bit of an outsider, a bit neglected, just sort of like I'm like dragged around pubs and stuff, you know what I mean? But most kids around my area, that's, you know, parents just took them around pubs, and that's all we've ever known.
Yeah.
You know, just left in the corner. There's not a lot to do, sort of thing.
So it's a good message behind it, really, saying like get out there and make some of your life.
Yeah. You know, and I've spent many a years in the pub.
Yeah. So when you come to write your songs or your new material, what's the sort of process you go through? Is it lyrics first or music first, and does it completely change every time you come?
Yeah,
through?
every time it'll change. You know, during the day when I'm out and about or I'm at work, I'll get a lyric or a melody in my head, and then I'll just go and write it. And you know, I could have a tune on the guitar for ages, and not do anything with it lyrically, or I could have a load of lyrics and I can't put the, you know, I don't try and force it though. Sort of just let it happen and enjoy it.
Brew and see what happens.
Yeah.
So you could be years down the line. You have something. And
Yeah. I've revisited old lyrics and melodies and that.
So who do you actually look up to, like inspiration when you write new music?
What do you mean, like artist-wise?
Artist-wise, yeah, bands, artists. Who do you like to?
Bowie, a lot. Oasis, Beatles, Rolling Stones, the usual, proper rock and roll bands. Libertines, big one. There was like my first love, I'd say. Into what I picked a guitar up.
Yeah, that's why, good old Pete. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get back to the EP. The third track is called "Nothing to Take Me," and this song's got a good old Rip Roaring guitar. It's got a popular, you know, let's have it sort of tune.
Yeah.
This tune actually came from a movie. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
The Truman Show. Yeah, that fucked my head up, that film. Yeah, so I remember watching the Truman Show when I was a kid, and then I remember going, "You watched the Truman Show?"
I don't think I have, you know. No.
And then Jim Carrey, it's fantastic. And I went into school the next day. When you watch it, you'll understand what I'm saying. Like, I just felt like the world was watching me, and everything I did, everyone was watching me, and everything was planned, everything was staged. And I think that's why I'm a bit fucked up in the head anyway, and why that explains a lot of stuff what I do, like my obsessive compulsive disorder and that, like very peculiar and about stuff what goes on. Sort of grown out of that now, I think. But yeah, the Truman Show. Ruined my life, that film, but it's a good film. I watched it not long back actually, and it brought it all back.
All the memories.
Yeah. The torture, sleepless nights when I was a child, thinking that the whole world was watching me.
Oh God. So the last track on the EP is called "Keep the Faith," and this is the most personal song to you on the EP.
Yeah.
It's turning a negative into a positive.
Yeah.
Just tell us why it's so personal to you and what the song's about then.
I wrote this one a few years ago, and I played it in Sea Dogs, but I just think it's a great track, so it needed to be out there, recorded properly. I was on a bit of a downer one day, and I was going for a walk, and what I was going to do was probably not for the best, but a family friend, Carla, she was driving by, and she's like pulled the window down and went, "Oh, Pez," and I when someone says you're all right, even though I
Yeah,
weren't all right, I've gone,
yes.
yeah, sound. And where are you off? And I just went for a walk. She went, do you want a lift? I went, no, I'm all right. So she went, all right, sound, see you in a bit, love you, bab. But because she took that time in that moment, it just gave me a bit of hope. And I thought, nah, things ain't that bad. And I just literally walked a bit further and then turned around, went back to my back garden, and I wrote all the words in the song. And it just gave me a time to reflect. And the words in it, a voice cries, keep the faith, keep the faith. That was inspired by Carla. And every time I sing that, I imagine my mother like crying, begging me not to do anything silly, you know, to treasure what been given, sort of thing. So yeah, it's very personal.
Yeah, when you play it live, I bet it's quite
It's an emotional roller
live,
coaster every time I play it.
Good stuff. So that's obviously the end of the EP. When you're recording the EP in the studio, how did you know when to draw a line? Because you could be probably flicking around and things, like what a fist does that, and how do you know when to like leave it all alone and just like final product?
When the time's come and the money's been spent, I'll play for the day, get what I can done in those hours, and then yeah, that's it.
Job done.
Rough and ready.
You say it's a cracking EP. I absolutely adore it. I think it's all 4 tracks are, say, all different and unique in its own way.
Yeah.
Where can people go, buy it, listen to it, stream it, find it?
All the major digital platforms: Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, you know, Amazon Music, all of them. Everyone's got them, haven't they, nowadays?
Yes, it's going forward, isn't it? Yeah, 2021, 21st century. I also want to talk about the gigs you played. You actually have played some impressive gigs. You've gone to us from supporting Pete Doherty, Carbarat, The View, Reverend Makers, The Twang and Sean Ryder. That's a pretty impressive list. What was probably the best gig or the most memorable gig you have played in them shows?
None of them have been memorable from the state I was in. But yeah, I've always played a decent gig, I like to think, but then whatever happens after those gigs, I was always a bit of a mess and enjoyed myself too much. But probably the one which means the most to me is probably the Pete Doherty one.
Yeah.
I got to spend a bit of time with him. He gave me a ring, which is above my bed on a little shelf, yeah. And because him and the Libertines were probably the reason why I picked a guitar up and wanted to
play music.
Yeah, write songs and get out there.
Did Pete give you any advice, or what did he say to you?
Just keep doing what you're doing, enjoy it and that. You know, I remember playing a couple of my songs for him and he was filming me on his phone.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's cool to share those moments with him.
Good stuff. So looking ahead, is there a dream venue that you would like to play, or even headline in the future?
I just enjoy playing. I want to get bigger and bigger, not get too carried away, and just enjoy the ride as it goes along.
Take as it comes.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, Perry. Thanks, it's been a pleasure. Thanks again for coming on. Good luck for the future. So, Heaton Perry, I've been Jordan. Keep it snake hill, and you're seeing you soon. Cheers.